My neighbor Karen demanded I watch her 3 kids every weekend for free, then hired a lawyer when I refused. I live in a normal suburb. 2-story houses, quiet street, the kind of place where everyone kind of knows each other. Karen moved in next door about 6 months before this all went down. She had 3 kids, Mason was 8, Tyler was 6, and little Emma was 4. Her husband worked out of town a lot, and honestly, she seemed stressed all the time. We weren't close friends or anything, but we'd chat at the mailbox sometimes. I'd helped her move in, we'd borrowed sugar once or twice, normal neighbor stuff. I'm a freelance graphic designer, so I work from home. Maybe that's where she got the idea. It started small. One Saturday, she knocked on my door around 9 in the morning. "Hey, can you watch the kids for like 2 hours? I have to run to the store," she asked. I said sure, no big deal. 2 hours, easy. They played in my living room, I gave them snacks, they left. She came back and said thanks, brought me a coffee the next day. Then it became every Saturday, and then every Saturday and Sunday. After about 3 weeks of this, I finally said something. "Hey Karen, I'm glad I can help out sometimes, but I really need my weekends to work. I've got deadlines coming up, and honestly, watching 3 kids is a lot." She looked at me like I'd just told her I was moving to Mars. "But you're home anyway," she said. "What's the difference if they're here or not?" "The difference is I can't focus on work when I'm responsible for 3 kids. I need to charge you, or we need to set up a specific schedule that works for me." She got quiet. Then she said, "I can't afford a babysitter. I'm a single-income household now. My husband's job barely covers our mortgage." I felt bad. I did. But that wasn't my problem to solve. "I understand that, but I have my own bills to pay. I can maybe do 1 Saturday a month, but that's it." She didn't say anything else, just nodded and left. I thought we were done with it. We weren't. The next Saturday she showed up at my door at 8:30 in the morning, with all 3 kids and a packed lunch. "I'll be back at 6, she said. "Thanks so much." Before I could say anything she was gone. I was mad, really mad. I brought the kids back to her house and knocked on the door. She opened it in her pajamas, clearly not ready to go anywhere. "What are you doing?" "I told you I can't do this," I said. "I need you to stop leaving your kids here without asking." "So you're just going to abandon them on the street?" "No, but you need to come pick them up right now, and we need to talk about boundaries." She grabbed the kids and slammed the door. I heard her yelling at them inside. Then things got weird. She stopped talking to me, completely. I'd wave at the mailbox, nothing. She was suing me for emotional distress and unpaid childcare services. She was claiming I'd agreed to watch her kids every weekend, and now I was refusing to fulfill my commitment. She wanted $8,000 to cover the cost of a real babysitter for the past 3 months. $8,000. I called my own lawyer immediately. He read the letter and laughed. "There's no contract, no agreement, no text saying you agreed to anything. You're fine." But I wanted to be done with this. I wanted her to understand how ridiculous she was being. So I didn't just ignore it. I filed a countersuit for harassment and documented every single time she'd shown up unannounced with the kids. I also submitted a statement to the court explaining that I'd explicitly told her I couldn't provide childcare. The judge threw out her case in about 15 minutes. He actually said, "This appears to be a neighbor dispute, not a legal matter. Case dismissed." But here's the thing. He also told her she had to pay my legal fees, $2,200. She got the bill and lost it. Started telling people around the neighborhood that I was selfish and mean, that I'd ruined her life. But nobody believed her. Turns out other neighbors had had similar issues with her. One guy said she demanded he lent her a car for a week. Another said she'd asked to use someone's pool pass without asking. She moved out 4 months later. Couldn't afford the mortgage anymore apparently. I saw the moving truck pull away one Thursday morning. I never heard from her again. My neighbor Karen showed up at my door with 5 kids and told me I had to watch them for free or she'd call my boss. Let me back up. I'm a nanny. I watch other people's kids for money. It's my job. I charge $40 an hour, and I'm really good at it. Parents in my area know me and book me months in advance. I live in a nice neighborhood, and Karen moved in 2 doors down about a year ago. For the first few months, she was normal. We'd wave at each other. Her kids would play in the yard. No big deal. Then one day she asked if I could watch her kids for a few hours while she ran errands. Just a favor. I said sure, and I did it for free because it was just a couple hours and we were neighbors. Big mistake. After that she started asking constantly. Every week. Sometimes twice a week. And the asks got longer. What started as 2 hours turned into 4, then 6, then full days. I kept saying yes because I felt bad for her kids, honestly. They were sweet, but I was losing money. I was turning down paid jobs to watch her kids for nothing. One Saturday I finally said no. She asked me to watch all 5 kids from 8 in the morning until 6 at night so she could go shopping. I told her I had a paying client that day. She got quiet for a second, then said, "You're being really selfish. Those kids need you." I said, "Karen, I'm a nanny. I need to get paid. I can't watch your kids for free anymore." She lost it. She said, "You think you're too good to help a neighbor? My kids love you. You're being so mean to them." I tried to explain that it wasn't about being mean. It was about my job, but she wasn't listening. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. She said, "You know, my friend works at your agency. I could tell her some things about you. I could say you hit my kids. I could say you didn't feed them. Would you like that?" I stood there in shock. I said, "Are you seriously threatening to lie about me?" She smiled and said, "I'm not threatening anything. I'm just saying it would be really sad if something like that got back to your boss, but it won't happen if you watch my kids tomorrow, and maybe every Saturday after that." I told her to get off my porch. She left, but I was terrified. This woman had just basically said she'd destroy my career if I didn't give her free childcare. I thought about what to do. I could just give in, watch her kids every Saturday, keep my job safe, but I knew it would never stop. She'd ask for more. She'd keep using her threat like a weapon. So I did something different. I called my agency and told them exactly what she said, word for word. I told them she threatened to make false reports about me if I didn't provide free childcare. My boss took it seriously immediately. She told me to write it all down and sign it. Then she said she was going to call Karen. I don't know exactly what was said in that call, but the next day, 2 police officers showed up at Karen's house. I watched from my window. They talked to her for about 20 minutes. She looked sick. Turns out, threatening someone to extort free labor is actually a crime. It's called extortion. Karen got a ticket. She had to pay a fine. And she got a restraining order. She can't come within 500 feet of my house. About a month later, she had to move. I think her husband found out what she did and wasn't happy about it. I haven't seen her since. I still watch kids in my neighborhood. But now, when people ask for free favors, I say no without feeling bad. I learned that lesson the hard way. My wife's mom showed up at our house at 9 p.m. with a folder in her hands, and the look on her face told me something was very, very wrong. Let me back up. My wife Sarah and I have been married for 7 years. We have 2 kids, ages 4 and 6. We're not rich, but we're stable. I work in tech, she works part-time as a nurse. We have a mortgage, some savings, and we've been trying to save for a bigger house. When Sarah's mom Linda pulled up, Sarah was already asleep. I was watching TV when she knocked. I opened the door, and Linda just walked past me without saying hi. She sat down on the couch and opened that folder. We need to talk, she said, and Sarah needs to hear this too. I called Sarah down. She came down in her pajamas, confused. When she saw her mom's face, she got nervous. What's going on? Sarah asked. Linda pulled out a stack of credit card statements. My stomach dropped because I recognized them. They were from an account Sarah had told me was closed years ago. I got a call from the credit card company, Linda said. They said the account holder hasn't paid in 8 months. They're trying to reach Sarah. When I heard that, I logged into the account online, using the old password we set up together. Sarah, what is this? Sarah's face went pale. Mom, I can explain. Explain what? I said. What account? Linda pulled out more papers, credit card statements, hundreds of charges, thousands of dollars, all from the last 2 years. This card was supposed to be closed in 2016, Linda said, looking at me. Sarah opened a new one without telling anyone. Look at these charges. I looked through the statements. Luxury hotels, designer stores, jewelry, spa treatments, flights to places I'd never heard Sarah mention. One charge was for $5,000 at a place called Valmont Spa in New York. When did you go to New York? I asked Sarah. She wouldn't look at me. Sarah, I said louder. When did you go to New York? I didn't, she whispered. Linda flipped to another page. There's more. Look at this. It was a hotel bill from 6 months ago, the Ritz-Carlton in Miami, checked in under Sarah's name. 2 nights, $800 a night. I've never been to Miami with you, I said. Sarah started crying. I can explain everything. Then explain, Linda said, because the total on this card is $43,000, and the company is threatening to sue. 43,000, 43. I felt like the room was spinning. Where did the money come from? I asked. We don't have $43,000 just sitting around. I've been paying the minimum, Sarah said quietly, just the interest and a tiny bit of principal. With what money? I was standing now. Sarah, we budget every paycheck. Where is this money coming from? She wouldn't answer. Linda pulled out one more document. It was a bank statement, not ours. A different bank account entirely. With a different name on it. This account was opened 3 years ago, Linda said, in Sarah's name only. There's $120,000 in it right now. I couldn't breathe. $120,000 in an account I didn't know existed. Where did that come from? I asked Sarah. She looked at her mom, then at me. Her eyes were red and scared. From my job, she said. Your job? You work at St. Mary's Hospital, part-time. You make maybe $22,000 a year. No, Sarah said. I don't. What do you mean you don't? I mean, I don't work at St. Mary's Hospital. I haven't worked there in almost 3 years. The room went completely quiet. Then where have you been going every day? I asked. Every single day when you leave at 7 in the morning and come home at 6. Sarah stood up. She looked at her mom, then at me. I need to tell you something, she said, and you're not going to like it. My phone buzzed. A text message from a number I didn't recognize. It just said, tell him about Jason. Tell him now. Sarah's face went white when she saw my phone. My sister borrowed $22,000 from a loan shark without telling anyone, and now she's demanding I pay it back or she'll destroy my marriage. Let me back up. My sister Sarah is 34, I'm 31, and we've always been close. Our parents passed away 5 years ago, so it's really just been us. I run a small IT consulting business. Nothing crazy, but I make decent money. Sarah works as a dental hygienist, makes okay money, but she's always been bad with finances. About 3 weeks ago, there's a knock on my door at 9 p.m. I open it and there's this guy I've never seen before. He's big, mean-looking, and he asks for my name. I tell him I'm confused, and he says, your sister Sarah owes us $22,000. She's not answering calls. Your family. You need to handle this. I shut the door on him. My heart is pounding. I call Sarah immediately. She doesn't pick up. When she finally calls me back an hour later, I lose it. What the hell is going on? Some guy just showed up at my house threatening me about money you owe. There's silence for a few seconds. Then she says quietly, can we talk in person? We meet at a coffee shop the next day. Sarah looks like she hasn't slept in days. Her eyes are red and puffy. I'm so sorry, she says before I can even sit down. I borrowed money from someone, a private lender. It was supposed to be short-term. $22,000 short-term? Sarah, what did you need that much money for? She breaks down. Turns out she got into this relationship with a guy named Marcus. He seemed amazing at first, but after they started dating, he told her he needed money for a business investment. He promised he'd pay her back with interest. Like an idiot, she believed him. She borrowed the money from a loan shark to give to Marcus. Marcus disappeared, blocked her on everything. The loan shark started calling her, threatening her, saying they'd come after her family if she didn't pay. I'm sitting there in this coffee shop trying to process this. My sister is an adult. She made a stupid choice. But loan sharks aren't going to stop coming to my house. I need you to help me, she says. I can't pay this back. I'm making $3,500 a month. Even if I give them every penny, it'll take years. They're saying the interest is piling up. It's already $24,000 now. So what, you want me to pay it? I'm asking if you can help me, even if it's half, even if it's something. I tell her I need time to think, but inside I'm furious. This isn't my debt. This is her mess. I've worked hard for my money. I have a mortgage. I have my own problems. I go home and I tell my wife Emily about it. And Emily, bless her, says, we should help her. She's family. But then Sarah calls me back the next day. Her tone is different. Cold. I'm going to tell Emily that you kissed my friend Jessica at my birthday party 2 years ago. I feel my stomach drop. It happened once. It was a stupid mistake. I was drunk. Nothing else happened, but I've never told Emily because I knew it would hurt her and it didn't mean anything. Are you seriously blackmailing me right now? I'm not blackmailing you. I'm just telling you what's going to happen if you don't help me. I can't even speak. My own sister is threatening to blow up my marriage to get me to pay her debt. Don't do this, I say. Please don't do this. Then help me. I hang up. I sit with this for 2 days. I don't tell Emily because I don't want to stress her out before I figure out what to do. On the third day, I call Sarah back. I'm not paying your debt, and if you tell Emily about Jessica, you're going to regret it. Because I will tell everyone exactly why you needed that money and who took advantage of you. I'll make sure Marcus's name and face are everywhere. I'll post about it on every platform. I'll call his job. I will burn his life down, and you'll be known as the woman who got scammed by a con man. Your choice. There's a long pause. You wouldn't do that. Try me. She hasn't called me in 2 weeks, but neither has Emily. And I know Sarah is waiting to see if I'll cave. I won't. But now I'm sitting here wondering if I handled this wrong. Was I too harsh? Should I have just paid part of it to keep the peace? Or am I right to refuse to reward blackmail? My neighbor showed up at my door with a list of demands for free childcare, and when I said no, she threatened to call my boss and lie about me. Let me back up. I work from home as a graphic designer. Nothing fancy, but I make decent money and I like the quiet. My neighbor is Karen, yes, that's really her name, and she has 3 kids, ages 7, 5, and 3. She's always been a bit much, but I never thought she'd actually do something like this. It started on a Tuesday morning. I was in the middle of a client call when my doorbell rang. Not once, 5 times. I finished the call quick and opened the door, and there she was in her yoga pants, holding a printed document like she was about to present to a board meeting. Hey, so I need to talk to you about something, Karen said. She didn't even say hi. I was already annoyed. What's up? I need a favor, a big one. I'm starting a new job next month and I need childcare. My regular sitter fell through and daycare is insane expensive. So I was thinking, you work from home, right? You could watch the kids, maybe 3 days a week, like 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. I stared at her. No, absolutely not. Wait, hear me out, she said, pushing her way a little closer to my door. You're already home. It wouldn't be that hard. They're good kids, mostly. Karen, I can't. I have client calls all day. I need to focus. But like they can just play in the living room while you work. They won't bother you. That's not how this works. I can't watch 3 kids and do my job at the same time. She got quiet for a second, and I thought maybe she'd just accept it and leave. But then her face changed. Her jaw got tight. You know what? That's pretty selfish, she said. I'm a single mom. I'm trying to better myself, and you won't help? I'm not responsible for your childcare situation. Fine. You want to know what I think? I think you're just a cold person, and I'm going to tell your boss that. I'm going to call and let them know you're not a team player, that you don't care about people. I actually laughed. Call my boss and tell them what? That you asked me for free babysitting and I said no? No, I'll tell them you're inappropriate with kids. I'll say you made my kids uncomfortable. I'll say whatever I need to say to make sure you lose this job. She said it so calm, like she was just mentioning the weather. My stomach went cold. Are you seriously threatening to lie to my employer? I'm not threatening. I'm telling you what's going to happen if you don't help me out. 3 days a week, 7 to 5, starting next month. Get off my porch. Think about it, she said. I'll come back tomorrow and we can talk numbers. Maybe I can pay you like $50 a day. $50 for 10 hours of childcare for 3 kids? And you're also threatening to destroy my reputation? Look, I'm desperate. Help me out. I closed the door in her face. I didn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about what she said. Could she actually do that? Would anyone believe her? But I wasn't taking chances. The next morning, I called my boss and told him everything. Not to be dramatic, but to protect myself. I explained that Karen had asked for free childcare. I declined, and now she was threatening to make false accusations. My boss was furious. Not at me, at her. He said this was harassment and potentially defamation. He told me to document everything and to let him know if she contacted him. 2 days later, Karen called my boss's office. She left a voicemail saying I was unsafe around children and that I'd made inappropriate comments to her kids. It was all lies. My boss called her back immediately. He told her that she was making false accusations, that this was illegal, and that if she contacted him or his company again, he'd be talking to a lawyer. He also told her he knew exactly what happened because I'd warned him. Karen never came back to my door. She didn't call again. I saw her at the mailbox a few weeks later, and she just looked away. Not my problem. My wife's sister showed up at our house at 10 p.m. with a manila envelope and tears running down her face. I was in the kitchen when Sarah knocked. Not a normal knock, the kind where someone's shaking. I opened the door and there she was, soaking wet from the rain, holding this envelope like it was going to explode. My wife, Lisa, came down the stairs. Sarah? What's wrong? It's late. Sarah just stood there, water dripping on our tile floor. She looked at Lisa, then at me, then back at Lisa again. We need to talk, Sarah said. Her voice was shaking. All three of us. Now. We got her inside. Lisa made tea. Sarah wouldn't drink it. She just sat at our kitchen table, twisting that envelope over and over in her hands. I did a DNA test, Sarah finally said. You know, one of those ancestry things. I was curious about our family history. Lisa nodded. Okay, did you find some cool relatives or something? No, Sarah said. I found out that Dad isn't my dad. The room went dead quiet. Lisa's cup stopped halfway to her lips. What do you mean? Lisa asked. I mean our father. He's not my biological father. The test is clear. I checked 3 times. I even got a second DNA kit and did it again. Lisa set down her cup. That's not possible. You look just like him. I don't care what I look like, Sarah said. Her voice got louder. The DNA doesn't lie, and that's not even the worst part. My stomach dropped. I could feel it coming. What do you mean worst part? I asked. Sarah opened the envelope. She pulled out papers, printed emails, and what looked like old photos. She spread them on the table like evidence at a crime scene. Mom had an affair, Sarah said. A long one, starting when I was a baby. I found old emails on her laptop when I was looking for the Wi-Fi password. They go back 23 years. Lisa leaned forward. Sarah, that's between Mom and Dad. You can't just... There's more, Sarah interrupted. She pulled out another document. The man she was with, it's not random. It's someone we know. Someone we've known our whole lives. Who? Lisa whispered. Sarah didn't answer right away. She just stared at the papers. Then she looked up at Lisa. It's Uncle Robert. Lisa stood up so fast her chair fell backward. No, no way, you're lying. I'm not lying, Sarah said. I have emails, thousands of them, and photos, and I checked his DNA on the database too. We share way more DNA than we should. It's not normal sibling DNA, Lisa. It's parent-child DNA. Lisa's hands were shaking. What are you saying? I'm saying Uncle Robert is my biological father, and I think he might be yours too. Lisa sat back down. She didn't speak. She just stared at Sarah like she was looking at a stranger. Have you told Mom? I asked. Or Dad? No, Sarah said. I came here first. I needed to tell Lisa before I told anyone else. But I'm going to. I'm going to ask them about this tomorrow morning. I'm going to show them these emails, and I'm going to ask them why they lied to us our entire lives. Sarah, wait, Lisa said. You can't just... I can't? Sarah stood up. I can't? Lisa, our whole family is a lie. Everything we know is a lie. Lisa's phone buzzed. She looked down at it and her face went white. What? I asked. She turned the phone toward us. It was a text from their mother. Your father and I need to talk to you both tomorrow. It's important. Don't tell Sarah. Sarah and Lisa locked eyes. Sarah pulled out her phone and checked her messages. There was a text from their mother too. Sent 5 minutes ago. Sarah, honey, I need to see you as soon as possible. There's something I've been keeping from you. Something I should have told you years ago. Sarah's hand started shaking again. She knows, Sarah whispered. Somehow she knows I took the DNA test. She knows. Then Sarah's phone rang. It was their mother calling, at 10:30 at night. Sarah answered it, and even from where I was sitting, I could hear their mother crying on the other end. My ex-boss stole 200 grand from the company, so I became the whistleblower and watched his entire life collapse. I worked at Morrison Tech for 7 years, started as a junior analyst, worked my way up to senior manager. The company was solid, about 150 employees based in Denver, and my boss was this guy named Derek. Early 50s, always talking about his expensive cars, his vacation house in Aspen, his kids at private school. Everyone liked him because he seemed successful. Then I got promoted to his level. Same department, different team. That's when I started seeing things that didn't add up. Derek was approving invoices from this vendor called Alpine Solutions for about $15,000 a month. Software consulting work, supposedly, but I knew our actual software needs. We didn't use Alpine for anything. So I started digging. I pulled the contracts. They didn't exist. No actual work was being done. Alpine Solutions was a shell company, and Derek's brother-in-law was listed as the owner. I went to Derek first. I had to. I went to his office on a Tuesday morning. Closed the door. Derek, I need to talk about the Alpine invoices. He looked up from his desk. His face went white for like 2 seconds. Then he smiled. Yeah, what about them? They're fake. There's no contract, no work being delivered. What's going on? He leaned back in his chair. Listen, this isn't your business. You're new to this level. There are things you don't understand. Things I don't understand? Derek, this is theft. You're stealing from the company. He stood up. I'm going to be really clear. You drop this right now, or I will make sure you never work in this industry again. I have connections. I can end your career. I just stared at him. You're threatening me? I'm giving you advice. Take it or don't. I walked out. My hands were shaking. I didn't report it to HR. I didn't tell the CFO. I did something smarter. I spent 3 weeks collecting everything. Every invoice, every payment record, every email about Alpine. I documented the shell company, traced the money to Derek's personal accounts, found where he was spending it. I even found photos on his Instagram of that vacation house with a caption about, finally paid off the Aspen place. Then I went to a forensic accountant, paid for a full audit myself. Cost me about $3,000, but it was worth it. He confirmed it. Derek had stolen $204,000 over 18 months. I didn't take it to the police first. I took it to the company's board of directors. I sent everything to the board chairman directly. Emails, invoices, the forensic audit, everything. The meeting happened on a Friday. Derek got called into the boardroom at 2 p.m. By 3 p.m., his keycard was deactivated. By 5 p.m., security walked him out of the building. Everyone watched. The company reported it to the police. The FBI got involved because the dollar amount was high. Derek was arrested 2 weeks later at his house in Aspen. His lawyer tried to claim it was a misunderstanding. That didn't work. The evidence was clean. Here's where it gets good. Derek had a $1.2 million mortgage on the Aspen house. He'd been making payments from stolen money. The house got seized. His wife left him and took the kids. He couldn't afford his car payments. The company sued him civilly for the full amount plus damages. He had to file for bankruptcy. He pled guilty to wire fraud and theft, got 4 years in federal prison, started his sentence last month. I got a promotion out of it. The board called me into a meeting and thanked me for my integrity. They gave me Derek's old job and a $30,000 raise. The company also had a policy about protecting whistleblowers, so I was protected. I didn't do any of this for revenge at first. I did it because it was the right thing. But watching Derek lose everything, watching him walk out of that building in handcuffs, watching his life fall apart in real time, that was the sweetest part. He tried to threaten me. He tried to scare me. He stole from the company that gave him a good job, and he got exactly what he deserved.